V Rising is coming out for an open early access release this May, and I cannot express how excited I am about this game. A survival game with vampires, I'm just sold. And while I have a video coming out here soon, probably following this one, that's going to be over every single thing that we know about V Rising so far, I wanted to build up some hype for the game and really excite those who might be interested in it. So today, as a bit of a teaser for that next video, and just to talk about this game I'm so pumped about, let's go over the top 5 things you'll love about Stunlock Studio's V Rising. Number 5. The story backdrop. Survival games aren't typically known for a big story. In Minecraft, you're a dude named Steve. In Valheim, you're a dead warrior who has to kill some beast to appease Odin. And in Rust, you're a toxic 12-year-old kid. In V Rising, they put a lot of work into creating a world story that gives you a reason and explanation for what's happening, as well as a potential storyline to explore in the game. I'll be going more into the story of V Rising in a future video, but know that the Paladins of Light slew Dracula ages ago after a rise of vampires. This caused the world to rain blood for 7 days and 7 nights, which scarred the land forever. All of the story gives explanations for why vampires are around, why paladins are around, and even the mechanics like V-Blood, which are vestiges of power that, when feasted on, give players incredible power boosts. The world was created with the goal of being filled with wonders to engage. Enemies are going to come in various forms, from simple villagers to powerful monstrous beings strong enough to demolish you. Even more so, there'll be resources and items to grind for as skills to have to achieve. Overall, you'll constantly have a reason to engage with the world that is diverse and makes sense due to the story backdrop. As a whole, if you're a fan of Castlevania, you'll love a story like this, and I love seeing there be actual effort to explain what's going on in a survival RPG like this. Number 4. The Sunlight System. This is a really cool concept that Stunlock Studios introduced that really helps with the immersion in the game and just adds another layer of depth for the content to play through. The game has both day and night cycles, which night is longer, but you'll have to plan accordingly as exposure to direct sunlight will cause you harm until your character is incinerated. Yeah. You will have to plan your strategies and game plan around this cycle to make sure you can maximize your time. On the flip side, if it is sunny, you'll need to stick to the shadows and keep safe, which is something to consider when you enter combat and have to navigate shadow to shadow. This is a really sick system that, while simple, just makes a lot of sense for this type of game and really helps keep the grind refreshing. Number 3. The PvP combat. If you're familiar with Battlerite by any means, which is Stunlock Studios' other recent game, you'll probably know what to expect in terms of high quality combat, but take that and put it into this game. The PvP combat will be fast-paced and honestly pretty complex, with a variety of weapon combos to use and skills to acquire. Add in blood buffs and complex map environments that interact with your gameplay, it's gonna be something to behold. For example, the developers told us that as you're fighting and the sun starts to rise, all of a sudden your battle is taken to the shadows behind the sun, and you could potentially knock down the cover your enemy is using to expose them to the sun. Additionally, we were teased that there'll be complex mechanics to master, such as canceling abilities, reflex, counters, and iframes. As a whole, I can promise you that PvP combat is going to be something to try out, as it just seems downright incredible. Number 2. The castle system. As to be expected, building is a must for any survival game like this. It's a core element of these game types that drives investments from players, looking at the amazing build opportunities like Minecraft, Rust, and Valheim all provide. And for those interested, V Rising brings an amazing building system with the castles. So the way the castle system works is as you strengthen yourself as a vampire, you'll also want to build up your castle. There will be castle ruins from the time vampires ruled the world for you to claim and rebuild. You will build your castle piece by piece as you put up walls, make workstations, and make a fun vampiric style to personalize your home. You use blood magic to make your castle by feeding what is called the blood well. While your blood well is adequately fed and maintained, your crafting stations will not only operate more efficiently, but the castle defenses will be significantly more challenging to assail from the outside. Its walls will be more difficult to harm and even regenerate their structure at a rate that makes it impossible to break in with claws or simple weapons alone. As a whole, it's an awesome system, and I personally can't wait to make my own castle. And finally, number 1, the blood system. Without a doubt, the coolest feature that V Rising is bringing to the table for this game, and also just one of the more complex ones. You see, it'd be expected in a vampire game to have some type of blood drinking mechanic, but boy oh boy does V Rising take that concept and just run with it. Sure, you have your typical blood sucking to survive, but also, depending on the blood you drink, there will be different perks you get. For example, fresh warrior blood improves your physical damage, rogue blood improves your movement speed, and scholar blood improves your magic damage. These were just concept examples that the developers provided, and the actual blood types are a bit more complex. Just wanted to take that as a note. On the low end, you can also survive off of snacks like rats or weak creatures. On the other end though, higher quality blood will additionally increase the number of perks you have. So something you can do is find a human with the perfect blood that you want and store them in your prison for future meals. By the way, what I just said was paraphrased directly from the developers. They get it, guys. They get it. So as you make your preferred vampire build with the different weapons, you'll need to find ways to optimize your blood intake. And this isn't even me going into the blood well, which is the storage of blood you use to keep up your castle and maintain its defenses, or V-blood, which are powerful foes that when you feast on them give you incredible buffs. As a whole, this mechanic is intense and amazing, and you just gotta be excited for it. So yeah, those are the top 5 things you'll love in Stunlock Studios V Rising. If there's anything I missed, be sure to drop a comment below. Otherwise, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back next time with more V Rising content.